Alright. Oh, once again recording this as I have just got back from college. So, you know, something I'm glad about is I've got a consistent... Well, when I started in the half time it was 2 weeks, and I think it came out 3 weeks later and 4 weeks, so like days, and now I think I've got into a very particular routine of doing it every other day, and it seems to be working out well now that I'm back at college. So I spoke to my tutors about the holographic projector, and we've got the measurements and stuff, or at least we're still looking into the measurements, so I'm definitely not buying myself a holographic projector. Instead, I'm going to be making myself one. So I can do it with a Mac screen, which is nice. The only thing is I need to put the Mac into its own box, because I need to keep it somewhere. It's not built to be laid on its back. What's the other thing? We've also got to... Well, it's... The way we make it, it's going to be easier than I expected. To be Pyrex? No, not Pyrex. I already mentioned it's the last vlog. It's being made out of acetate, A3 acetate. That's it. And we're gonna get those big sheets. We're working on the measurements because Chris, my tutor, has given me his measurements for expanding it to fit A3, whilst my first go was I made a little square with an X on it, which is the little hole at the bottom of the acetate pyramid, which is just here, if that's even remotely visible. So that little hole in the middle there, I made a bit of card, a square card, which was that, and I put on top of my smartphone at a particular frame of a video. I think it was an Iron Man hologram video, and I think it was the 27th to 8th second, somewhere there. And using the feet of the Iron Man, the blue ones on the side of it, if you watch the video you'll know what I mean. There was a little extra Iron Man which was blue to the right of each Iron Man on the video. And the feet were exactly where the corners were to my my little square. So after that, I loaded up the same video on full screen, because I've only been working on full screen, and I put it on one of the Macs in the room, the iMacs, and I did the calculations. I went to the same frame. I measured the space between the feet on the same video, and it came up to 5 centimeters. I did some maths, and I've made, using paper, actually I can get it out here because I brought it with me back. Oh, whilst I'm getting this out, might as well say that I've forgotten once again to take a photo of the mind map, which I made, which was weird and interesting and finished, mostly, which is nice. No, that's not it. That's the one where I did the size wrong. Where is it? It's one of these. Oh wait, no, it's inside the other one. Okay, so there we go. So, using the compare video technique, this is using just regular paper. I managed to make this out of A4. This is exactly the smaller pyramid scaled up using just that video and comparing the holes. This isn't, of course, the maximum size you could get one of these pyramids to go, but comparing, using those, that single frame from the video as reference, comparing the size of the little hole in the middle on separate screens, I came up with this. Now, this, to begin with, I completely ruined the the measurements for the first time I was making my tutor Chris's version for A3, and it just came out as a square. You can't really make a pyramid out of this, but if you did, then the problem is you'll end up with, well, it's going to be hard to show you in any regards. Well, you just can't really without one end being weirdly bent. You can do it better as a triangle pyramid, but well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, this is the one where I actually got it right, and this is using his measurements, the A3 version, A3 paper version of the pyramid. Apart from just slight tweaking, I cut all these by stapling. Well, as you can see, it's a sort of pyramid shape, or trapezoid. So when I did the measurements, I did them on one sheet of A3, and underneath that I just put 3 more sheets of A3, because all those have to be identical anyway. And because it only reaches 2 of the furthest corners, on the other 2, I put in staples just to keep it steady the entire time. And then I went to a guillotine, which is, in case nobody was familiar with the name, it's not the French murder execution device, it's the thing where you move the glider across and it cuts paper. Didn't really need to be explained, but you never know if somebody doesn't know what a guillotine is outside of the executional equipment. And cut it all at once. So that's what I came up with. That looks great, but I was thinking, what would it be like if I didn't make the pyramid wider but taller? And unfortunately I couldn't take a photo because my hands were very full controlling one sheet of acetate, which was I think it was A3 that I had, and because it was very flexible, I couldn't keep it straight without using both hands, which was a nightmare when I was trying to look at the angle. And I was trying to see if I could make the pyramid taller just by getting out my laptop into a dark room and putting the sheet of acetate on top of it at an angle to see how well it's reflected and what angle. But by the looks of things, I'd be better off not making it taller, because it, frankly, it just wouldn't work. I would have to make it really slim on only 2 sides if I was going to do that. So I'm better off making it square and fitting a video that's made to be square rather than... It just doesn't work. I can't make it taller, otherwise it had to be slimmer, and the screen would have to be bigger. One of the two had to be different, and it just doesn't work. It will take too long. And like I said, I couldn't take a photo, the acetate was wobbling too much, I couldn't grab onto it. The other day though, I found out that it wasn't just people or students bringing in old computers and stuff which they were tearing apart for their projects, which has been happening on the course for a while now. Apparently the college does have a stockpile in the back room of just a bunch of old computer stuff. They have old scanners and printers and keyboards and hard drives, all being scooped out. They're useless, decommissioned, not completely empty. They have bits in them, so you can find circuit boards and all kinds of junk in them. It's just they do not have the ability to work. You can't say, can I have that? They'll just say, no, it has been properly looked at, it just doesn't work. So either they've come to keep them like that because they're either broken or they're just outdated and they knew that nobody would want to use these, or they're just useless since the stuff we have now is a lot better. Bit like asking yourself, why is somebody still selling this mouse with a little ball in it? Don't know if anyone younger than I am remembers when mice used to have a little ball in the bottom rather than the detector scanner, but that's something they had. And Of course, nobody uses those anymore unless they were a stupid hipster. Vinyl's the exception, though, if you're going to go for old technology. Vinyl music is very good. So, in this collection of junk, just junk, there was a lot of stuff. Something which caught my eye and I immediately started ripping apart was a keyboard. Because inside of it, I didn't know they had this. I thought it was all mechanical. They had these sheets of, well, I can only describe them as acetates because that's how similar they are to acetates. Thin plastic sheets, but printed on them, I assume this is a special kind of ink or material. Don't know how easy it is to see that, but it's, well, other than the dots are part of it. You can see that is very, very interesting. I love it. It's a sort of circuit board design, and despite how I don't think I can directly make it part of the pyramid, I could somehow implement it into the design of the frame. It's maybe a kind of divider, maybe, to go on the sides of the square part of the frame, where the 4 top corners of the square frame will be attached to the pyramid because it's going to be pointing down, and the other 4 sitting on top of the box that the Mac's sitting in. So maybe as a divider like that. They've got plenty of other keyboards I could tear apart for it as well. I might even use one of the keyboards just as a prop. There's the keyboard, it's sticking out. Doesn't do anything though. Now, I mentioned before that I prefer to make these videos just straight on, so I don't have to edit anything, just one whole video. However, because I probably would have actually, there's no avoiding it anyway, unless I did this whole vlog at college and brought the camera into Outback to show the pile of junk. But because I didn't, I would have had to either take the camera with me back into college and film it, which means editing, or taking photos of it like I did and editing those in. So I'm going to stand to my right or your left, and right here are the pictures of it's just a trolley with all the junk in it. Now the one that's on the screen now, just so you know, this is weird without it being on screen for me, because I'm just pointing at, well, it's gone for the moment. It's just guitars. Now it's back again. That's me pointing. It's nothing at the moment still, but you can see those black boxes. Those are just old printers. But something which I like the look of with these is it's just a black box. And something I'd like to do with it is I already got my version of the pyramid prototype there, just checking the measurement, and compared it to the box, to the casing, and it seems to fit. So something I'd like to do is, well, I've already passed it on to my tutor, and he says, no, that's going to look terrible. You should make the frame out of wood, and then put like a plastic shrink wrapping on top of it. He'll talk to me more about that later, and I'll talk to you guys more about it later. But what I was going to do is get one of these printers, completely empty it of everything inside, all the components, and try and cut out enough of the plastic casing until it's just the outline, and then from there, it's gone now, and then from there, put inside of it the pyramid. That's something I was thinking of doing, because then I'm left with this nice black frame, probably molded from plastic. But of course, there's the case of how am I going to get all this stuff out? I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. If there isn't a panel I could remove to clear out a whole wall to this casing, then that means I'd have to cut it out. That means I'll have to put time into maybe sanding the edges and making it a lot more from just sorry if you can hear anything from out there, family, and we can't close the door at the moment or ever again actually, so yeah, sorry if that's getting irritating. So that's what I would have liked to do, but Chris and Kirsty, my tutors, they shot it down and said it just wouldn't look good. It looked terrible. Please don't do it, Henry. So I think I'll print it anyway and have a look at it, and at least look at how much I could do with it if I had started disassembling it. But that's it. I don't think it would really be worth doing anything else with it. So there's that idea down the drain. Now, let's see. The New York trip. That's going to be something. That's going to be in a few weeks. And we're going to be getting up. I'm going to be getting up incredibly early and leaving. But I've got 5 days in New York, and I'll be back Saturday. Not this Saturday, not the next, but the Saturday after. So it's a good 5 days. And see, what was it? We're going to a bunch of places. I think we're going to Statue of Liberty. We're going to go to the Empire State Building. Just mostly the big old places. I think we're going to visit Brooklyn. Oh boy. There'll be some time to wander around and do what we would like to do. See. Oh god, excuse me. I haven't even drunk anything fizzy today. That's a lie. Never mind. I just remembered a bunch of stuff I've drunk. And then we're. Where was I? Oh, there's the places I'd like to look at. I'm still trying to find any places in New York that do prosthetics or anything like that that I could use for my research, take some photos, get some notes. So those are some places I'd like to look at, because I doubt there'll be any fully fledged labs with plasma technology I could look at. Although I'd assume there'll be a lot there that I could look at gun-wise. So I doubt I even have to look hard for that, frankly. Probably do. I don't know. I've never been to America, but just from what I've heard, you know, life would be safer with a gun. I don't know. I'm not gonna take that to heart unless I live in America, and that's it. Anyway, not sure how to think of America just yet. It's not a place I've been to, and it'd be interesting to see what it's like in person, but of course the media and social media haven't given me a very good example of what it's like. So yeah, I'm gonna take out the SD card to this camera and edit what I need to, which is gonna suck. Can't find the button.